to bring his ass to this ring. Give me a hell yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Hey, we're back live inside of your, I started to say radio. I guess we could call it radio, don't you think?
Close enough.
All right, yeah, that'll work. I'm WB Ward.
And I'm Chip Douglas.
And we're back for another edition of SCI Wrestling.
We did that well. A little bit off.
Well, maybe.
Not bad, though.
We're thanks to the magic of the internet, we're doing things just a tad bit different this week.
A little bit different.
So if you hear some off timing or anything like that, that's why. But I'm not really anticipating big problems with it. But as it turns out, one of us is ill, and we'll leave it for you to decide who that may or may not be. But actually, for the first time since we've done this, Chip is actually in a different location.
Yes.
Than I.
Yes.
And we've just magically tied all this together. Sounds pretty cool, I think, so far.
So far, so good. It's just sucks that I'm not looking at the back of your head.
I know.
It sucks, really.
I'm not quite sure how I should feel about that. That's the first time anybody's ever told me they missed my backside.
Exactly. Probably the last time.
I mean, the last time I was questioned about that, somebody asked me if I've been to Vegas, and I said, no, why? Because it looks like you lost your ass. I think I did somewhere along the way. Anyway, the last couple of weeks, one thing we've kind of failed to touch on is our social media. I don't know what the hell we've been thinking.
Well, you've always had the understanding of if people listen to us, that means they've already discovered our social media.
Well, at least one branch of it, yes.
So we do have multiple branches of it.
Yes.
Our Twitter page is SCI_wrestling. That's where you go follow us on Twitter. Also, Facebook page. Oh my gosh, is it Squared Circle Insider Wrestling? Which is our Facebook page.
Yes.
Go like us there. Our YouTube page, if you just that's where you listen to the show primarily, is going to be just Googling, or not Googling, but searching SCI Wrestling through YouTube, and you'll be able to pop us up along with Mud Wrestling. Either way, it should be a good time.
Along with Mud Wrestling.
Yes.
Either way, you're going to get a lot of dirt.
Exactly. You get a lot of dirt.
Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say. I actually had something. Oh yeah. How in the world could I forget about this? People like, let's see, Joshua, some guy named Tim, a few other people who have been sending us emails asking me questions, most of which don't make it on here because most of them are just stupid. Yeah. If you do have a question and you want to be made fun of, just send us an email to sci@wbward.com. sci@wbward.com. You can ask us a question to stump one of us, or if it's just a question of curiosity that you've always wanted to know about pro wrestling, just jot it down in an email, ship it off to us, and we'll read it. And by the way, they're not really dumb or anything like that. A lot of them have some very nice comments, that we've received. Some not so nice, but and we certainly do appreciate hearing those. And no, we're not going to make fun of anybody, at least not directly. If we do, you'll know about it before it hits the air, because we'll give you a fair heads up on it. I mean,
it's only fair.
Fair is fair.
Fair is fair.
And speaking of fair, the weather here has been fair. How's life been going for you lately?
Everything's been going really, really well.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. I'm so glad to hear that. Me on this end, it's just busy as usual. Still trying to get over the WrestleMania.
Yep. Still on the WrestleMania hangover.
Yeah.
We're actually 8 days away from Extreme Rules.
I know.
Yep. So it just flew by.
And it's just like, what, another pay-per-view?
Another pay-per-view.
However, there's a potential prediction that I have made. It looks like it might be coming true. And here within just a short while, we can probably go into that in more detail. But okay. I'm so happy. I'm so happy to be proven right. I'm just so thrilled that it looks like I may be proven correct. It happens so sparingly.
It's very sparingly, especially with you probably being one of the majorities who predicted the streak.
Yeah, and that's the one I was really saddened to have been proved correct on. But anyway, let's
by the way, there's some big news about the streak.
Oh, there is?
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later.
Okay. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and brighten things up just a bit by taking our weekly visit to... Yay!
Once again, here it is. Let's see, I'm pulling it up right now. Hold on. All right.
7 days without a tweet makes 1 week.
Did you read that somewhere?
No, I didn't, but that was pretty good.
I should tweet that.
Yes.
All right, today's this is kind of a picture tweet. So if you do follow us, go to our Twitter page and you'll be able to find it. We did retweet it and we favored it. It's from Wrestling Lad, and it takes a play off of Ghostbusters. And so the picture goes, when you need a jobber, who are you going to call? Zack Ryder.
Oh, I thought for sure you were going to. Oh gosh, what's his name? He used to do the he had the head gimmick.
Oh, Al Snow?
Yeah, I thought you were going to say Al Snow.
No. I usually lead him in with my favorite Twitter. Yeah.
Why is Zack Ryder a jobber? I've never really quite understood that, because he seems to have something there. If they could just get rid of that Long Island tea.
I don't know. I mean, he's unfortunately caught with creative has nothing for you mode. So
boy, do they have nothing for him.
So now he is enhancement talent is what they call him now.
Oh, is that what they call jobbers?
Yeah,
enhancement talent. I like that. You're enhancement talent.
You're an enhancement.
You're not a janitor. You are a social engineer.
You are a building and site supervisor.
Oh yeah. Wow, I love those titles. Okay, an enhancement. What'd you say?
Enhancement talent.
Enhancement talent. Okay.
So we got Extreme Rules coming up. There's actually some really cool, interesting rumors going on. There's a lot of rumors all the time, but some that was very particular focused on Extreme Rules, and that was the fact that they were planning on bringing War Games, the match Beyond, to Extreme Rules. But during the creative meetings, they realized that where they were hosting Extreme Rules, which I can't remember off the top of my head, cannot support the 2-ring setup. So they had to go ahead and niche the
Wait a minute. What arena could not hold 2 wrestling rings?
I have no idea.
That must be one small-ass venue.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm trying to find out where it's at right now. Yeah, but I thought that was very interesting. The fact, Triple H always was pretty big mark for that match. So he's always wanted to bring it back. So now that he has creative control, this was a perfect opportunity. So I can't wait to see it. I think it's coming sometime down the line. Maybe Battleground would probably be a good good focus of it. Battleground featuring the War Games. I think that would actually work really well. But either way, it should be a good Extreme Rules. We have Daniel Bryan versus Kane. What did you think about that segment from Monday Night with Kane coming back?
To be honest, I thought it was a bit overkill.
Really?
I really did. I mean, it was okay. It's a good push. I think it's a good story. Even Stephanie McMahon, with her character, she had a little bit of redemption quality into at least the way she was presenting it. But I just felt it was I think it was a little over the top.
Okay. I mean, for me, it was 2 weeks ago he was Corporate King. Now he's back to the Demon's Child. Coming back with the mask, I thought it was too soon. If they would,
I don't think he should have ever removed it.
I really don't either. If they would have kept him off TV, I think for a couple months and then brought him back, then the impact would be even better. And of course, I believe that's how booking really should be done, anyways.
Give it a rest.
Give it a rest, because how else are you gonna make a new same old character new again?
Yeah, let me compare this to radio programming. Back in the day when I was programming radio stations for a music format, we sent songs through a certain cycle. Usually, depending on the radio station, they would have these in color codes. Usually they were gold, green, blue, and red. The red category music you would play like once an hour. These would be your top songs. The blue category were songs that were just entering in the charts and showing strength. The green was the songs that have already been through the cycle, but they were on their way out. And then the gold category was just that. They were the oldie goldies. After a song left the green category because they've cycled through the chart, before they went into gold, we took them completely out because by the time they were in that category of the green, these songs fell into the category of, oh my God, are they playing that again? they fell into that category. So we purposely would remove them off the air completely for about 4 months before putting them back into rotation as a solid gold oldie. That way, when they heard them, instead of hearing the, oh my God, are they playing that again? They're thinking, oh my God, I remember that.
Yeah.
And the same could be applied to wrestling.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, these guys, they go all year long. I mean, you look at guys like John Cena who's always mixed reactions. I mean, imagine if that guy just took 6 to 8 months off and then they brought him back to TV. It would probably be a completely different story as far as crowd reactions.
Meanwhile, they have the opportunity to take talents like Zack Ryder, since we were talking about him a second ago, and give him the opportunity to start really crafting his personality, maybe change that stupid gimmick, and make it a little bit more forefront. I think it would make for a better show. But you know the primary reason why they cannot do that? Why? They have backed themselves in their corner with a pay-per-view every 30 days.
Yeah, it's true.
There's just not a whole lot of development time.
But with their whole system with the WBE creative machine, they should be able to let their major stars take time off once in a while to help build other stars. Then you'd be able to set up your pay-per-views for later on. To me, that's booking. Perfect example: Brock Lesnar. I think Brock Lesnar to me is being used in a perfect way. He's an attraction. So when he does show up, it's
kind of like the bearded lady.
Like the bearded lady. Perfect. Perfect. You wouldn't want to see the bearded lady every week, but it's kind of cool to see her once a year. I think so that's the reason I'm okay with him breaking the streak, because now he's a special attraction that has something on his shoulder. Because I brought up earlier, speaking of the streak, I just quickly want to touch on the fact that
they called him the streak.
There is apparently a lot of rumors that this was a Vince McMahon call and not an Undertaker call.
Really? Because what I had heard was that they had talked about it mutually in the dressing room before the show.
Yes, apparently there's a lot of rumors going on that, well, they did talk about it.
Okay.
Because Vince McMahon would never just do it without talking to Taker. But from close friends with Taker, they made it feel like, or his friends made it feel like Taker was really kind of forced to end it now. Vince just saw it as his body's breaking down. I got to do it now before I have nothing else to be able to do with the streak. So I think it was almost like a Bret Hart situation where he was afraid Bret was going to leave for WCW with the title. I think he was afraid Undertaker would have retired with not having the streak broken. And at the same time, Vince had no interest of getting something going that would have been referred to as the New Orleans screw job. Right. So, Undertaker still, he's a class act when it comes to the wrestling business. But I think there's probably a little bit of truth in that. And apparently it all happened within 2 days of the pay-per-view. So it was not the long-term plan. No. Oh, well. Yeah, it is, as they say, history. Yep. Now, on to a prediction that kind of looks like it may be turning out to be true. Okay. Is the increasing rivalry between the two brothers. Cody and Goldust. Yeah. And it looks like they are indeed setting this up. Now, the next the next evolution for this, if you will, if my prediction does hold out to be correct, the two are going to just completely split off, and they are going to be mutually uncontrollable between the two, probably continually interfering in each other's matches, to the point where they do have to pull in their dad from their Florida offices to come up and referee. He will be their Huckleberry all night long. Now, in order for that prediction to come true, the split has to occur, and we'll see a trend of one constantly interfering in the matches of the other, right, where neither one of them are winning any matches. But so far, we seem to be perfectly on track with that kind of premise. I was watching SmackDown last night, and by golly, by gum, they are walking down that road. Right. No pun intended.
Oh, yeah. No, it wasn't intended, but that was pretty good. I ought to take full credit for that. Walking down that road.
It is something that we all said that it was actually going to happen before WrestleMania, and there's going to be a big WrestleMania match. But it was pretty blatant that wasn't going to happen. I think it's well overdue. I think Cody Rhodes could still be a star, and there's no way he could be a star in a tag team. So there has to be a point where he has to break off and to go back into the singles realm. And I think sitting with his brother or teaming with his brother has done wonders for him. So I'm actually really excited to see how he be able to fall back up into a single mode.
Yeah. Wow. You know, I broke some news here a while back, and I'm kind of now regretting that I did. About Sting having signed with WWE.
Right.
Have you heard anything further about that?
He's signed.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he's signed.
I was really beginning to question. No, he did sign.
He signed.
Okay. As I was wondering if with the unfortunate demise of the Undertaker, of the Ultimate Warrior, if they might have put things on hold with that for a while because of how closely related those two individuals were in real life.
No, actually, if you were actually a subscriber to WWE Network, you would have been able to see they actually had Warrior Week. So they had shows going on every single day, customized around the Ultimate Warrior. Sting was in these videos.
Excuse me, I hit my mic.
Oh, you're right. Sting was in the videos doing talking about Ultimate Warrior.
Okay.
So that tells me right there he signed because the fact that he is being a part of WWE films, which is not something you do unless you're under contract.
Did you know that Sting and the Ultimate Warrior made their debut together as a tag team?
Yes.
Do you remember where?
I know they somewhere in California, just because the fact that I know they trained in California. That's my opinion.
Venice Beach?
I don't know if it was Venice Beach or not. It could have been. There was a promoter out there that had like 4 guys that were built like stone houses, and so but Ultimate Warrior and Sting were 2 of those guys, and so they ended up being a tag team. So I'm gonna say somewhere in California, somewhere on the West Coast.
Possibly. Now, I don't know if this was their debut in pro wrestling all in all, but I know at least I was able to find their debut on Memphis Wrestling back in, I think it was about 1985. Now, this music is, boy, is that 1985.
Okay, we're going to be in the ring here in just a moment with our first opening bout. But right now, we would like to welcome in a couple of brand new faces to Championship Wrestling, a couple of guys you're going to get to know and know well, too. We're talking about the Freedom Fighters, Jim Hellwig. Jim, glad to have you here, and Steve Borden. Steve,
oh, wow, look how you use your real names.
This is your first time out here. We want to get a little background on you. Jim, I know you're from Atlanta, Georgia, right?
That's right. Originally, I was out in California the last year and a half doing some wrestling out there.
And how about the record for the Freedom Fighters, Steve?
We've only lost 2 matches, but neither one of those were really legitimate losses. We got hit over the head with chairs and tables and everything like that. You know, they got to do anything they can to beat us.
How many matches they won?
I can see that.
I don't consider them legitimate then.
Yeah, well, that's an awfully good record starting out for young fellas. I'm standing here. I have heard this, and I know the weight. Jim is 285 and Steve is 260.
Now, I don't know who that announcer was, but he's not exactly who I would call Mr. Personality.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, and both of them, as you mentioned in there, they were using their real names and no personality of their own.
I love how they lost 2 matches, which is a heck of a record, but we don't know how many matches they've won. I mean, they could be 0-2 for what we know.
And at least according to their comments in there, you may have been absolutely correct on your California.
Ah, see? Ha ha.
Well, like you said one time, even a blind squirrel can find a nut every now and then.
Yes, he can.
But I thought that was a pretty cool little sound drop.
Cool little nibbit.
Yeah, and I wish I knew, that was back in the day when local TV stations or within a particular market carried professional wrestling every Saturday afternoon.
Now, that was in Memphis, correct?
Memphis, yeah, okay. That much I do know for certain.
Okay, all right, so that was Jarrett Lawler's territory.
And I wish I knew which television station that was.
Oh,
I'd
gosh.
like to have given them
Goodness
credit because that. And I would like to also find out where they got that music because that music was the cheesiest 1985 music I think I've ever heard in my life.
Loved it.
my hair got bigger. Okay, back to present day.
Yes.
I love the pushes. I love the pushes that are going on with the Shield, especially. That's my favorite push of all time.
Of all time.
Of all time.
Really?
I think the Shield build up and the way they've been setting that up, especially with their appearance on SmackDown last night.
Yeah, that was good. I actually saw the tail end of that.
That was just awesome. Now the week before, or rather the Monday before, they were sabotaged by 11 wrestlers in the ring.
Right.
This time they were told up front they were going to be sabotaged by 11 wrestlers in the ring, and then systematically took them out during the show one at a time.
Yes.
And I thought that was wonderful. I thought that was a wonderful build. I think this is my absolute all-time favorite build-up.
It's going really well. Then with Evolution, what's going to be really interesting right now is the fact that we have Ric Flair returning to the ring. Sorry, that's my cell phone.
Oh,
returning to the ring for.
I thought somebody was getting served
night.
a margarita or something.
Tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw, Ric Flair will be returning. It'd be interesting to see where he folds. Part of me thinks that he's not going to go the obvious route. I think Evolution is actually going to do a number on him, believe it or not. I think they're going to build it as him reuniting with Evolution, but I don't think so. I think it's going to be the opposite way around.
Well, in a very rare moment of this show, I'm going to be in complete agreement with you on that.
Really?
I don't see Ric Flair jumping back on board. I don't see that happening either.
I think I think he would want to, but I think Evolution's going to turn themselves on Ric Flair.
Well, it's just that looking at it from a story concept point of view. If you're trying to build up the Evolution as being the ultimate heel of the day, what better way to do that than to take a beloved personality, even though albeit a former team member, and throw him to the trash?
Right.
I don't think there's any better way to do it than that. So I don't see that they have any choice but to do that. But time will tell Monday night.
And of course, one thing that I don't think I've ever expressed on the show is if Evolution is going to continue, which I really don't know how long it's going to be because rumors are Batista's taking time off after Extreme Rules. So I don't know what's going to go on after Extreme Rules. But they have to bring in some kind of young talent. They have to bring in at least one guy to get some kind of rub off of Evolution. Who that is, I don't know at this time. There's a lot of candidates that could use it and probably would love to have it. Cody Rhodes would actually probably be an ideal candidate for it.
Yeah, Cody would be great.
But that's something I think they should definitely be looking at, which is one of the main reasons why I don't see Ric Flair joining them.
Oh, okay. So we're going to differ on the why, but we're going to get to the same city, just on two different roads.
Exactly.
Okay. Now back to the roads, though. So, and again, there's my unintended pun. After they split, who will be heel?
On what?
Well, I mean, after Cody and Goldust split up as a team, which one is going to turn heel? Or will they both?
I actually think you're going to see Cody go heel. And I think the way he's going to do that is Dad's going to try to intervene, and Cody will turn on Dad. The only reason why, because there's a lot of baby faces right now, and so WWE is lacking a lot of good heels. And I think Cody Rhodes could possibly be that really good heel. And Goldust, he could do either way, really. But I truly think Cody would be a better heel. So that's the way I see it.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn on that one. Because both of them have had their share of the ring time as being heel, and I think both of them did an excellent job. But wasn't their daddy a heel for a while?
A little bit. He actually started out as a heel, teaming up with Dick Murdoch down in Florida. Apparently, they were quite the hellraiser of a tag team, and they were heels. But of course, Dusty Rhodes really made his fame being a face, doing his battles with Harley Race, Ric Flair, Four Horsemen. So on. But yeah, he actually did get his start as a heel.
All right. Okay, now coming back once again to present time. I don't know what in the world made me jump track like that. That huge. But as far as pushes are concerned, my all-time favorite push would have to be the Shield. Coming in a very close second for me would be the Wyatt family. But they continue to push, and they're pushing, and they're continuing to push. And it does kind of have me worried that they might be pushing them a bit too hard.
Why?
I'm a little worried about overkill. Now, granted, so far I'm not seeing any real signs of that. However, just looking at this from a historical standpoint, if you push too hard on any one thing, no matter how good it is, you are running the risk of a very fast burnout. And they might want to slow down their pacing just a little bit on the push for the Wyatts, just a little bit, in order to keep that from happening. Because I still see the Wyatt family as being the next big thing. In fact, they have already made that, I think. But I think they could have, excuse me, I think they could have continued big thing status if they just put on the brakes a little bit.
I don't know. It's like my previous statement about the lack of heels. There's a huge lack of heels in WBE. Really, right now, the Wyatt family and Evolution look like the best heels that they got. And even the Wyatts aren't really that big of heels.
Everybody loves them.
For them.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I think a good fresh feud for them after the John Cena. I think they should immediately actually go after Daniel Bryan, to be honest.
Again?
Yes, because the fact that
I don't know, that didn't work the last time.
Well, Daniel Bryan didn't beat him, and now he's a champion. So Bray Wyatt has a very good solid. I think both players are in different situations to where now it'll work 10 times better, because everyone was so upset about Daniel Bryan not being involved in a title picture. It just made everyone frustrated.
You know, last week, Chris Plank was on this show.
Yeah.
And he did make a statement.
Oh, by the way, I'll be on his show in a week and a half.
Oh, cool. Look at you. Look at you.
Fun times.
I knew him when. That's awesome. Keep me apprised of that. I'm going to tune in. It's going to be here in Tulsa at AM 1430.
1430. You can also be able to hear it on iHeartRadio.
Awesome. Are you going to be in studio or online or what?
No, I'll be remote.
Okay. That is awesome. Anyway, what was I going to say?
About the Wyatts, Daniel Bryan.
So something about Chris Plank said last week.
Yes, sorry about that.
Because he started talking, he mentioned about the WWE creative starting to repeat themselves a lot. And I'm seeing that happen again. Now, here we are outside of WrestleMania. Leading up to WrestleMania, everything starts sharpening up because they're putting on their Sunday go-to-meeting clothes. Right. Now that WrestleMania is over with, they're already starting to relax. We're falling back in to the old... let's do this. We've done this a million times before and it's worked before. Like, for instance, letting the audience vote on what kind of match is going to be happening at the end of the show. That is just lost all appeal. I don't have any appeal to that at all. If they do go back to Bryant again, I'm worried that they are once again going to be going back to the well water, trying to get Daniel Bryan in as part of the Wyatt family again. And I'm hoping that's not what's going to happen here, because if anything, besides pushing the Wyatts too hard and too much, if anything can bring them down, it's going to be this vain repetition of the same thing week after week after week.
But who do you see coming up to challenge Daniel Bryan after Kane? Kane is not going to be a long-lasting segment. It's one pay-per-view. Maybe that's it.
I don't know. And it very well could be somebody just completely out of the blue. I mean, I'm even thinking maybe somebody like Goldust or Cody Rhodes. No. I mean, on a split, maybe that would be one of the things that would happen after their split.
In due time, not now.
But I think it could come from any one of a number of ways. I'm just hoping they don't go back to Daniel Bryan with the Wyatt family.
I think that Bulgarian guy, give that guy a little bit of time.
Yeah. Now they need to replace his valet.
Oh, no way.
Oh, she's great to look at, but my God, won't that woman keep her mouth shut?
Oh, she's great. She's great. She reminds me of Sherry Martel.
Oh, Lordy. And if there's anything more, she's the only thing more irritating than Emma's ring music.
Oh, I hate that ring music. I hate the dance, too, to be honest with you.
Well, we still have some interesting things to come up and see Monday night on Monday Night Raw. And then, of course, we'll have...
Return of Ric Flair. Woo!
Yeah, that is going to be a lot of fun. It's always great to hear the 2001 Space Odyssey theme again. I wonder if he's going to have his boa.
Probably not.
Or one of his robes.
Just a suit.
He should wear his robe at least. I mean, he had some classic ring robes. Anyway, be sure to check us out on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter. Send us some emails at sci@wbward.com. gmail.com. Ask us your questions. We'll get them on the air, and if we use them, we'll send you an absolutely free 3 MB air guitar.
Yes. Yes.
Postage paid. Until later on, this is WB Ward, and
I'm Chip Douglas.
join us next week right here for another episode of SCI.